Hello, hello, hello. Today we're going to talk about why you're stuck in self-doubt. And yes, we're going to blame your childhood. It's not always your childhood, but for those of you who are raised with toxic and narcissistic parents, yes, it is. So I just want to say, have you ever noticed that you are second guessing everything? Whether you're sending a text, you're making a decision, you're just existing and you just feel like you're doing something wrong. You're saying something wrong. Like the next thing that's going to come out of your mouth or the next action you take is just going to be wrong. And you say to yourself, it's just who I am. I'm an overthinker. I have to overthink everything. And yes, there are some people who are naturally overthinkers, sure. But for those of us with narcissistic and toxic parents, it's not always the case. It's not just who you are. It is called childhood programming. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why you feel like this and how you should rewire your brain so you can finally trust yourself again. So, if you grew up with a narcissistic parent, like me, here's what happened. You were trained to believe that your feelings were wrong. You were punished for setting boundaries. You were taught that love is something you earn, not that you're freely given, even though as your parents, you're supposed to be unconditionally loved. But when you grow up with a narcissist, that's not always the case. And then guess what? You turn 18, you think, I'm going to get the hell up out of here and life is going to be grand. It was not. It was not for me. I left home at 19 and no, the grass was not necessarily greener on the other side and would not be for another because I think it took me to get out of this rut and I'm still working on it. It's not done. It is a journey, FYI. So you hesitate to make those decisions. You replay these conversations in your head for hours. It's something I still do and I'm working on. And you're constantly asking yourself, am I overreacting? Did I say the right thing? Did they mean what they meant? You know, all the little ways we pick apart a conversation, right? So, newsflash, you are not overreacting. Your brain is just stuck in survival mode. So when you think about childhood conditioning, we always want to be warm, fed, loved. Those are our basic needs, right? And that's what our lizard brain is, what a lot of people will call it. That's that most primal part of us that just wants those things and wants to be comforted. And when we're not, we go back to survival mode, to that lizard brain, I apologize. And it's like, hey, how do you get to those things so that you aren't feeling uncomfortable? And you have to rewire your brain to realize that not every situation is a survival mode. So here's how you get out of survival mode. You have to rewire your brain to those automatic responses. So you have to actually literally pause. So you got to take a step back and think, is this a real problem? Or is this my childhood trauma making me overanalyze? This takes practice. It takes me practice. I still do it all the time. But just pausing and checking in with yourself helps break this pattern so you don't spiral into that cycle of overthinking. Step 2, you are going to set some boundaries. Yes, even if it feels wrong and uncomfortable and not good. So, but let's practice this muscle for a little bit because it does take some time. You need to start with something small that you can easily say no to. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable. Do it anyways, because that's how you retrain your brain. It could be something as simple as, hey, your friend call you up and say, do you want to go out for lunch tomorrow? And you honestly really don't like this friend all that much. And you know that an hour lunch with them is going to be draining, gossipy, and a waste of your time. Say no. They could be mad at you. They could be upset, but you've now set a boundary because you are not allowing yourself to be dragged into the negative, toxic drama that they have because that's what you're used to. And you feel comfortable sitting to your friend, bitch and moan for an hour about people that you don't give two shits about. So, step 3, get support because you cannot do this alone. I mean, you can do it alone. I did. It will take you much longer than it needs to, and it'll be much more painful than it needs to be. So think about that again. Yes, you can do it alone, but nobody's an island, and it's so much easier to have the accountability and doing things with a friend, a buddy, a support person, whatever it is you need. So trying to heal yourself is like trying to do surgery on yourself with a butter knife. Just don't. It's even more painful than it needs to be. Get some guidance. And seriously, you need that support person, that accountability. Like I said, I can't tell you how long I went with just trying to soldier on. I was in and out of therapy and it was not fun. So just to recap super quick, step 1, rewire your automatic responses. Stop and pause before You react to something and say, is this really what it is? Or is my childhood trauma making me overanalyze every little thing? Set those boundaries, even if it sucks, even if you don't like it. Even in small little ways, you can build up to the big, the big ones, and get support. But you don't need to do this on your own. You don't, and it's nothing to be, a lot of people, I will say, don't get support because they're ashamed. There is nothing shameful in getting help. What is shameful is not getting help sooner and continuing to suffer. And because it's generally not just you suffering, it's those around you, those people you love. If you're a parent and you have children, it is okay to say, I'm not okay. So this is exactly what I help my clients do. So if you are tired of being stuck in self-doubt, book the break free chat with me. The link is in my bio. Subscribe to the page, and we can actually pinpoint exactly why you feel stuck and map a way out of this. And this is going to look different for everybody because not everybody's journey is the same. So definitely reach out. So we are going to heal from these toxic parents, the self-doubt, and we're going to break the cycle, and we are going to recover. And please reach out to me, sooner rather than later, because the quality of your life surely depends on it.